What is going on, people? I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb here and kind of give you a heads up as to what's gonna be coming here in the future. Now, do I know this 100%? Absolutely not. Pure speculation. But I think that I've played IGG games long enough. What, going on 10 years now? Something along those lines? To kind of know where things are gonna eventually go, and given that we just had an update that gave us some new familiar army talents, I'm gonna go ahead and give you an idea of what to expect. Right now, these were tier 3 familiars, which at the end of the day I don't think is gonna change much as far as the day-to-day for the game. For the mid-level players, I think that these familiars are gonna be one of the better ones that they can get. But for the higher tier ones, you know, the champion player, the baron player, etc., these familiars are probably not going to be used. Probably best used in your wall rather than actually attacking. But either way, they're decent additions. Didn't cost too much, etc. Here's the catch, though. Because we kind of knew that these army talents were coming eventually because they were just empty and kind of like weirdly empty, well, you do know that we have some tier 5 familiars that are empty. Not only that, I took a look at what every familiar has to offer, and I kind of have a general idea as to how this is going to go down. Now, what kind of actual skill, etc. it's going to have, I guess we'll see. Now, some notable ones that you can actually take a look at is Mecha Trojan, Tidal Titan, and Grim Reaper. These 3 familiars have empty army talents, right? Completely empty. Another notable one is Helldrider. Completely empty army talent, even though the skills, it's one of the first ones that I maxed just because the skills were so good. And I was like, man, this one's really good just overall. Well, here's how eventually this is going to break down. So if you don't have a lot of brilliant talent orbs, I would suggest you start saving now, whether it's slowly or however you want to do it, because here's how it's going to go, okay? Mecha Trojan, take a look at this. Cavalry max HP, army defense. Army talent is probably going to be a cavalry related one. Tidal Titan, infantry max HP, army defense. What do you think? It's going to be the infantry equivalent of the Mecha Trojan. And then Grim Reaper, empty army talent, skills, travel speed, and you guessed it, ranged HP. So this would be the range equivalent of whatever tier 5 new skills they're going to be adding. Now here's the kicker. You can either go Helldrider or you can do Jade Worm. As far as an army talent, I honestly think that they probably will go the Jade Worm route, but I guess we will see. If you take a look at it, if you add all of these are all like all armies, right? So if you add an army talent, it would be kind of the equivalent, but just a better version of the Griffin. So they could go the route of maybe increases army attack by 300% for 10 seconds or 15 seconds when 5% of your troops have fallen. Something along those lines, to where this will clearly be the better one. I don't know if these Mecha Trojan ones and Tidal Titan or Grim Reaper would be better than some of the ones that we already use, like the shield ones, for instance, like Saberfang and whatnot. But I would take a gander to say that these are probably going to be better, or else they wouldn't be tier 5. So you would then go into this meta of either using, let's say you go in infantry, right? You will use Huey Hop, you will use Bon Appetit, you would use Tidal Titan, because this would be the infantry equivalent. So that's 3 tier 5s already. Then you would use Jade Worm, because this would be the army one, quote unquote, taking the place of Griffin. And then from there, maybe you can use a stacking familiar, maybe you can shield familiar, etc. So, is this 100% coming out? No. But is it 95% coming out? Eventually, this is going to be added, and I think this is the way that we're going, because we knew that these familiars were going to get a talent eventually. We just didn't know if maybe IGG forgot, or maybe it's just they're waiting on something. Well, they just kind of reminded us, no, we didn't forget. We know that they're there, and we're going to come around it. So, yeah, these brilliant talent orbs, these little things right here, I will start stacking them up because you're probably gonna need thousands fairly soon, because I don't think that the level 5 or the tier 5 familiars are gonna be much longer for them to release. Take it from me, I've played IGG games long enough to know that this is the way that they're headed. And not only that, like the familiars are just too specific, right? You got cavalry, you got where's the other one? You got infantry, and then you got range. Like it's just right there. It's right there. Okay, so start stacking up those orbs because you will need them. If I don't remember exactly what the number was, but it was a lot. Okay, so yeah, make sure that you have quite a bit of these and be ready for this update to come out soon. Whether it's by Christmas, maybe not by Christmas, it's coming, and we're gonna get to the point where we're using all 4 tier 5 familiars, and then from there you can pick your poison, whether you want the shield, you want the stacking familiars. I think the stacking familiars will win eventually, because especially attacking, I can see the stacking familiars being the most important, because you get 100%, 200%, 300%, especially on blast. Maybe they'll, you won't ever really see them in fort battles anymore, even though now they're already kind of like, you don't really see them much. But yeah, it's coming. It's coming. So better prepare now than complain 4 or 5 months down the road whenever it does actually release. So just giving you guys a heads up. With this last update, we know what's up. More are coming, so might as well start stacking up now. But yeah, let me know what you guys think so far of the new familiars. Have you actually tested them out? From what I've seen, they do better on your wall. But I noticed that somebody said that they're gonna put all 3 in their wall. That's all fine and dandy, right? But you have to remember, these familiars will only activate when you lose a certain percentage of that specific troop type. So if you're an infantry phalanx or wedge even, your cavalry and your range one will probably never activate, because you won't lose those troops. You're gonna lose your front line. So I would suggest, if you're gonna put them on your wall, at least put your infantry and your range ones. Try not to have your cavalry in there, because you don't necessarily want to be in a cavalry formation taking a rally, unless you know 100% it's an infantry rally. So just keep that in mind. Don't put all 3 in your wall, because 9 times out of 10, 2 of them will be useless to you most of the time. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, like I said, appreciate you guys for coming through. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. And until later.